Welcome to Slow and Steady, the podcast where you get to follow along as we build products in public. Each week, we'll give you an honest peek into our lives as we share our struggles, our wins, and everything in between. I am Benedicte, and I'm just feeling all the feelings today.
And I'm Benedikt. Today is June 29th. This is episode number 145, and I'm feeling a lot better than yesterday.
Well,
so do you, apparently.
I don't know if I'm feeling better. I actually felt better yesterday, but I woke up today with a real summer cold. So that's a little annoying, but I have a cup of tea here. My family made me tea before they left the house, and hopefully I won't cough too much during the recordings. But I see you have some exciting stuff happening at your company.
Oh, well, it depends.
I wouldn't say exciting. I meant
I've been out sick as well.
Maybe not exciting.
I spent all of yesterday in bed, so that wasn't too exciting. But yeah, company-wise, we had last week was a little bit crazy in the terms that we had a first actual spammer sign up and actually send some spammy messages. And they were persistent. Let's put it that way. we did a good job at catching them early and blocking their account, but they came back and came back and came back and came back. I think they created like 5 or 6 accounts, and it was annoying enough to basically derail my plans for the week. And we ended up building a system where we get notifications into our Slack channel, where we then can get a summary of the account and can, with a button click, approve and suspend accounts. So now,
so you can suspend them.
The entire team is.
You can suspend them straight from Slack.
Yes.
Ooh.
Like when someone signs up, we send a message in there with some core details, like what's their name, what's the email address they signed up with, what's the email address they sent messages from, and a couple more things. But essentially that gives you a good indication. If it's like a Gmail address, but the sender address is, I don't know, bankofamerica.com or whatever, probably want to click the suspend button. So yeah, the entire team is now on alert for stuff like that. And it's not just me being able to suspend people. And that helped to deter them eventually. So far, all good. Like, they gave up. Let's put it that way.
But that's good.
Yeah.
You won this round.
That happened last week, but also derailed my plans a little bit. I was planning to do more stuff with the Stripe integration, and that didn't end up happening. But
so you won this round.
This time we won the round. Let's hope it's good enough for now. I also started thinking about like an automated scoring system, basically looking at, like, I don't know, is it Gmail address, or is it maybe even one of those throwaway email addresses? And if that's the case, like, just decrease their score a lot. And if it's below a certain threshold, automatically suspend them. And if they feel like that's not justified, they can still reach out to support and we can still unblock them. But I feel like that's where it should be going eventually. So far, it's not as big of a problem, so I'm not spending resources on that just yet. But I guess eventually we'll have to do this.
Yeah, I think Monica at Affiliate, she's done something where nobody with a Gmail account is allowed to sign up.
Yeah.
Because it's like her thing is, affiliate analytics, and at some, like, if you're going to have a use for this software, and it's also, not expensive, but it actually, costs real money, there's no point in letting a lot of these people in on kind of the free trial. They often, they take resources, and then they often also start like emailing support about things, which is like, but if you had a proper site and a proper email address, you wouldn't be asking me these questions, because you're not at a place where you need this service. So yeah, I think it feels kind of weird, but yeah, if you're a business, you usually have like a more like a business email, right?
Right. Yeah. That her tweet about this literally came up an hour ago in our Slack, where Jane was basically asking, "Should we do this or not?" And we weren't quite sure. Like, maybe it's worth a try, because I mean, we should probably look at the data, but my suspicion is that a lot of people signing up with Gmail addresses don't convert into paying accounts, because for exact same reasons. Like, if you don't have a business email address, at least, you're probably not a good fit anyway. So, yeah, you should probably do this as well.
Yeah, but it feels a little weird, or like anti the open internet kind of thing to do, right?
Right.
Where you're like, based on your email address, we're just, no, we don't want you. Like, even if you have good thoughts around it, like, why, but it still kind of gives off, when you say it the first time around, it like gives off a little weird vibe, but then, yeah, when you talk about it, it's like, yeah, it does make sense. But will be interesting to see what you fall on, what decision you make in the future.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, for now it's good, but there are probably more changes coming. We'll see. Well, anyways, other than that, Leo has been continuing work on our new WYSIWYG editor, and while it still doesn't look like spectacular from the outside, I'm super excited about the progress, because he's building very good foundations, and over the last week, he worked a lot on improving overall user experience when it comes to like keyboard navigation and clicking around in the text editor, and yeah, stuff like that, where the default behavior wasn't quite nice. For example, you'd start a liquid tag and then there's no way to get outside of it anymore. So he worked on all those problems. And what's most exciting is that he also managed to add a lot of test coverage for all those cases. So our old editor has a lot of behavior, but none of it is tested. And in the past, we broke some of it and didn't notice. So this time we're trying to, add good test coverage from the start, so we don't break stuff accidentally in the future. And that gives me a lot of confidence that we'll be able to, improve this editor and work with this editor for quite a while without getting frustrated or annoyed or just like breaking it entirely all the time. So all in all, good progress there, and I'm still super excited about where this is going, because I feel like the editing experience is probably one of the core interactions with the product, where you make or break the entire people's opinion about the product and how good and how solid it is. So yeah, I want this to be a good solution, and I'm confident that it will be. So yeah, but that's about it. This week, almost no progress whatsoever because I've been out. So yeah. What about you? What's going on over there?
I don't even know anymore. No, I guess, last week we wrapped up most of the major work on the Cloud and Area plugins, and sent them created 2 betas, one without breaking changes and then one with breaking changes. So it will be nicer for people to upgrade, that they can choose if they wanted to upgrade and upgrade and get some new functionality and stay on Gatsby version 4, or if they want to upgrade to the next kind of breaking change upgrade that will be needed to make it work on Gatsby 4, but which will also work on Gatsby 3. So it's a very nice upgrade path, because you can decide to upgrade before you upgrade to Gatsby 4. So you don't have to do like everything at once. So that's good. But anyway, we're trying to get testers, so that's what we're working on. But then we ended the week at the React Norway conference, which was a blast. Like, it was so much fun. meeting a lot of people again. And we met the Cloudinary, or our contacts at Cloudinary. Also, met some Norwegians that I usually only meet at a conference about once every year, but it's been a
Mhm.
couple of years now.
Yeah.
And this hotel was like on the beach, on the city beach of Larvik. So it's kind of built over the beach. So on the Thursday before the conference, we like managed to grab some of the guys. One, I think, originally from Brazil, but lives in Berlin now. And another guy who grew up in Dubai, and we're like, let's go swimming. And they're like, what? Because it was like windy and 16 degrees in the ocean. But Lillian was like jumping in. So they were like, okay, we'll do this. And they got that kind of Norwegian experience. And then on Friday, the weather like turned really, really well. And it was just such a happy bubble. And I did my talk, Web Encryption, or a practical introduction to web encryption, where I didn't really focus that much on POW, but that was kind of like the intro. But then I kind of showed how to do web encryption in the browser, and that there is a web crypto API, which I realized a lot of people don't know, because when they were doing some crypto way back when, like, it wasn't a part of the browser, but now it's, all modern browsers have the crypto API built in, so you don't have to, and you probably shouldn't be downloading npm packages to do crypto stuff. But yeah, so that was good. But I got some questions, about why is this important, and it was all streamed, so I was like trying to be a little good about what I said and kind of like didn't say, and about why privacy is important when it comes to menstrual cycles and stuff like that. And then we headed out to the conference dinner, and got a little drunk, went for some midnight swimming, because again, I was like, the Norwegian experience. So I got some guy from Gatsby, and actually the guy that used to maintain the Cloudinary plugins, which is really funny because somehow like he decided he wanted to move to Oslo, so he's actually in Oslo. So when we were like DMing, around the world to get him to transfer these plugins to Cloudinary, to Cloudinary's account, like I could have just like,
Walked
knocked on his
over.
door. Yeah, he's like 5 minutes from us, so that was kind of funny. William. But anyway, so I got them to do some midnight swimming, and it was just, everything felt perfect, for perfect beginning to the summer. And then Alex from Gatsby was like, well, did you know? And I was like, no, what? Like, did you know that did you know what was happening when you were on stage as answering these questions about privacy? I was like, no, like, what are you talking about? And then he could tell me about, what had been happening in the States, that Roe versus, suddenly I only read this, so I don't know how to say it. But anyway, you get what I'm talking about, was overturned, like pretty much while I was on stage talking about reproductive rights and privacy. So that was kind of interesting. But it was like middle of the night, a little drunk. I'm like, I'm keeping this at bay. And then went out with some ice cream with Colby from Cloudinary. And then I was picked up by a friend, and that's when she tells me there's been an attack on the Pride celebrations in Oslo. Still like a little bit hungover. I'm like, just like I'm just pretending none of this has happened at all. And after that, we've been like full on packing the whole family down to this summer house that we're at. My mom with Alzheimer, her cat, my daughter, my partner, and it's just like been a crazy time. But now it's starting, because things are trickling in on Twitter, especially around the stuff going on in America, because suddenly everybody has understood that privacy is kind of vital when it comes to menstrual cycle data. And I'm
Yeah.
like coming up from air, and I'm like, what do I do about this? And like, am I prepared? Like, I don't feel prepared. My app is not like feature parity with these others, but it does have the privacy. And also, like, do I want to like jump into this debate? I know so little. Like, I'm not American. Like, this is not my specialty. I'm just a little developer who thought this was important. And just kind of like starting to feel a little bit again about all of this stuff. And so, as I said, like, I'm feeling all the things. Happy I'm in my summer happy place. Angry, and I don't know, other feelings about the state of everything. So
Mm-hmm.
we need to land this now. This is like a very like I don't know anything episode. The Gatsby stuff though is doing really well. We picked up some leads at the conference, and the our plugin work is doing really well. But the POW stuff, I don't know. So
in a way, it sounds like a perfect opportunity to, just promote it, like toot your own horn about how this is like the privacy, the most privacy focused menstrual cycle tracking app out there, because it literally doesn't store anything unencrypted at all, which we talked about a couple episodes ago, where it was like,
you were like, does it need to be?
Does it need to be? And I mean, still, maybe it doesn't need to be, as long as you don't share the data. I guess that's the key thing there. But I mean, right now, this is like your unique selling point and like what sets you apart from everyone else. So maybe you should talk about it more.
I know. It's like, but it's so weird. Like in my mind, I was like, yes, okay, I'm gonna do this plugin thing all through the summer and kind of a little bit into the fall, and then I'm gonna pick POW up again. And then suddenly this just like hits. And it hits like right like that weekend where I have like nothing. Otherwise, other times you could scramble for a little bit of extra, time and energy and all of those things.
Right.
And I was talking to my summer neighbor, and she was like, "Oh, so it looked like you're going to be working this vacation again." Then I'm like, "No, no, I wasn't."
Yeah.
But it does look like I'm going to be working this vacation again. But now I have a cold that I like almost can't think straight. But yeah, I think I need to get on it, and I think I need to get over myself, because I absolutely have this typical indie hacker founder, whatever, where I'm like, but the product isn't good enough. Like,
Who
do I want them
cares?
to come and test it? Do I want them to come and test it out? But I could also kind of like frame it like nobody cared about privacy, but seems like this is pretty important now. Like, become a customer and like help me get this more off the ground or something like that. I could also, soft sell it a little bit.
And also might be upset that you're not a US based company.
Absolutely. But then also like this, it's for me, it's like it's been important from kind of I don't know, like from well, it hasn't felt that real, but it's been important to me that we have these options and I have said in the past, like, things can change in your country pretty fast. And do you want this data to be available or like possibly hackable or available? And so I kind of said it, but I haven't really wanted to like scare people with kind of that. I haven't wanted to scare them into the product. More like I want, talk more about the advertisement side. Like, do you want to get ads based on your cycle? Do you want, that? But now it's like more real, and I guess more important, but also more scary. But what if it turns out that user base is not as good as I think? Like they've had an independent review. What if what if I lose people's data anyway? And like I'm supposed to be the safe harbor, and going up against like American judicial system. I don't know. It's not kind of where I want to talk about hacking or spamming. Like I don't know how vocal I want to be in them.
Yeah.
Like debate. I know where I stand in the debate, but I don't know if I want to like. It's not my area of expertise, right? I'm a developer first and foremost.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I get that.
So I need to find a way where I still like talk from that point of view in a way. More like, hey, I'm here. Like it exists. Yeah. But thank you, because there has been listeners who have sent me articles and people are tweeting about POW for me. I have gotten a couple of new customers. Not that many though, but a couple of new customers. And maybe this will be my summer recreational coding to work on POW, both code and kind of email sequences and everything that I guess it's 2 years since I was supposed to do that. Or a year and a
I feel
half.
like you shouldn't do a lot of coding. You should mostly be doing some marketing, I guess.
That's why do you say that? Like, why do we say that to each other all the time? Like, why can't we just code and they will come? Like, why?
Well,
Well, yeah, no, so it's definitely, but it's like, it's a sad opportunity in a way.
True.
And I feel like the kind of the attacks in Oslo as well, it shows how important privacy can be for like all kinds of groups suddenly. Like, you never know what's gonna, like, how a country will turn, or like what kind of data other people would want to use against you. I also saw this example now on Twitter. This guy showed that he can like really easily, using kind of like the data you can buy, you can quite easily be like, oh, these are like single moms in this area, and you can like target them for things. Or it's so easy to like find and target people, and that's based on kind of not very personal kind of public data. But then if you could do that and then also get access to their cycle data or their sexual preferences, it's like, I don't know. It's just, I don't want to think about it. Like,
Yeah.
that's also what I said at the end of the talk. Like, I thought I was going to be working more with privacy and encryption. But at some point, when you start thinking about these things, you just want to like live in a cave. And I like people. Otherwise, I would live in a cave by now.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. DM me if you feel the same every now and then. I need some. Yeah. But I guess there's not that much more to say about that, other than I should mark it.
Yeah, probably.
You can ask me about this next week.
We do. Anything else?
Because we had no, other than, if you're on the west coast of Sweden, let me know, and you can come hang out at my deck and look at the ocean and relax.
I was lucky enough to see the view from your apartment or from your house earlier, and it's definitely worth it.
It's a good one. So the house is really not worth it, but that view is worth it. And I think that's also why my dad fell for it in the first place, because we probably won't, but you can always, build a new house. You can't like build a new view, right? So that's one of the things. Oh yeah, so I did my yoga. I did yoga today, even though I was sick. I did yoga for when you are sick on the deck, just to like set it up straight from day one, doing it. So our little yoga community, which I know one of the guys who's part of that is a listener, and he says thinks it's so much fun when I call it the community, because we're like 4 people in a DM. But if you want to start with yoga this summer, let us know, and we can let you into our yoga pirates community on Twitter DM. But I think that's about it.
Yeah, let's keep this one short. We could both...
Oh, I have one last thing.
Oh,
one last thing. Unsolicited advice, yes. Like, if you have any advice or thoughts when it comes to POW and what I should be doing, like, DM me. Like, do not ask for permission. I am open to all kinds of good and bad and suggestions and feedback. So yes, I just wanted to say that.
Sounds good. Yeah. Well then, let's give both of us a little more time to recover.
Yes.
And I guess
we'll be back.
Yeah, we talk again next week.
We will. Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.
See you around the interwebs.